Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the July 14th, 2026 meeting of the Ossining Town Board. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag.
Councilmember Manicchio.
Here.
Councilmember Phil.
Here.
Councilmember Weinst.
Present.
Deputy Supervisor Meyer.
Present.
Supervisor Feldman.
Present.
Departmental report, Superintendent of Water and Sewer, Andrew Teese. Is he online?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hi, Andy. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, how is everybody tonight?
Good.
You like my green shirt?
Very
It
nice.
looks
Great.
Yeah. So we have a lot going on right now. I'm going to start with a couple of water projects, but get into the overall projects. And I don't want to forget this. The Lakeville tank painting project is going to be kicking off in the next 2 weeks off of Bracken Road, which is in the town of Ossining. We'll be letting the neighbors know, that mobilization will be happening there, and the contractor is aware of town hours. So that's key. We don't want to be intrusive to the neighbors, but it's gonna look really good. That tank is way overdue for painting. Although it did last over 30 years, which is unheard of in a tank painting job. It's important. It's a 1.5 million-gallon tank. The fire department will be aware of the situation because we will be feeding off of pneumatic tanks and pumps that will be providing pressure. But the fire department needs to be aware because they'll have to have tankers on standby, which I think the chief knows. So we've done this before. The boiler situation at the highway garage. Pete Conley reached out for me 6 months ago, maybe a little bit less, to talk about the boiler at the highway garage. There's an issue with a couple of sections. It's a steam boiler and it's failing. Pete planned on using highway forces to insulate the ceiling of the garage. So being that we looked at possibly repairing the boiler versus replacing. We've had a few companies out there, and Pete reached out for a few that I recommended, and everybody's kind of on the same page that it should be replaced. But I just don't want to replace it just because that's been the size that's always been there. If we're going to insulate it, want to bring in an engineer, Lecce engineers that we've used before. This is their wheelhouse. They do everything from HVAC design and boiler design. And I'd like to do a quick load calculation and make sure we're not oversizing a steam system that doesn't need to run for 2 minutes and off for 58 minutes. Anytime you size heating and air conditioning equipment, you want it as close to running most of the time because then it's more efficient than starting and stopping. So Pete knows that the engineer is available next week, so we will be meeting with him on site. The Hudson Engineering for the restrooms, I spoke to them today at Engle Park. They're still waiting for the county review to allow us to send the sewage into the county pit or trunk line. Most likely it's going to be into some type of a pit, and that's Westchester County DEF. The good thing is because there's no showers in the bathroom, we don't have to get Westchester County approval like we had to for the pool project where you have that type of a situation. It's a total different regulation. So it should be pretty smooth. The documents are ready to go. So hopefully we could set bid dates real soon, but I'd really like to get the county approval before we set the bid date. I've been working with the town supervisor. She invited me into this. She's been working like crazy to secure the grants, a $2 million grant that the two $1 million grants that the town received for 24 and 26. I know we have a meeting about that tomorrow. Um, that's real important because as water superintendent for both the town and the village, we had North State Road scoped out to be done in 2030. But because the town received these two grants, we moved it up to 2027. That project alone is about $6 million. $2 million goes a long way in a $6 million project. So we put that project as like a number one for water distribution system. So that's real important. I'd like to talk about the status of the water filtration plant. The neighbors have been really good. Right now, we're about 65% complete. It's an amazing project. We expect everything to be up and running sometime next summer. It's going to put us in a really good place as both for the town and the village. This summer, our demand has been peaked out. We've been as high as 4 million gallons, and the plant is designed for 4 million gallons. So the timing is right. It's hopefully next summer isn't so drastic, and then after that, we can feed as much water as we want to feed. That's pretty much it for right now. It's a lot going on. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, Matthew Weiss. A quick question on water tower on Bracken Road. Is there a
Yes.
time frame for the completion?
Yep. Good question. 3 months. 3 months. We expect by the time we isolate the tank, we have to do a few tests, right? So we have these pumps that we're putting these variable frequency drives in so that as the pressure drops, remember the tank's taken out of service. So we're going to have some tractor trailers throughout the distribution system that when the consumer uses the water, the pressure goes down. Because of that, it senses the pressure and it says speed up the pumps. Whereas before you had all the water in the tanks. So we're going to do like the preliminary test of running it with the tanks online and running these VFDs. And then after that, we expect 3 months. The contractor's pretty excited. H2M is the engineer who did the design and the bid specs for us, and they're doing the construction management. And they really have a good feel for this company. So I don't want to jinx it, but I hope it goes smooth and fast. And it's pretty amazing because that project was bid at 1.2 million. The next contractor was 3.9 million. So it was a big disparity. So you get a little nervous before you give notice to proceed to a contractor. Like, how could there be that much of a difference? But there's been good things said about this contractor. So we had no choice. We're just like, let's go for it. And hopefully it's all good.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. I know you've really been keeping up with the projects with us, so and I appreciate you being able to keep up with the town projects as well as building a huge multi-million-dollar water treatment plant.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank you, Andy. The next departmental report for tonight is the village engineer, Paul Frioli.
Hi, Paul.
Hello, Supervisor. Hello, Council.
Hello.
Good evening. Nice to see everyone again. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that have advanced since the last time I was in front of you. I've been working with the supervisor and credit where credit's due. She's been doing the bulk of the work with the interaction with the DEC, but we just this week have asked the consultant who was building off of the I'm not sure if this draft went around, but we finally got the draft report, which is pretty thick because it's filled with a lot of data. So I've been reviewing that, and the supervisor's been reviewing that. That's the draft report for the Angle Park water quality. That that same aforementioned Hudson Engineering that Andy's using with the bathrooms, we also use to do a study on some of the stormwater discharges in the area. As you know, we were building off of Gareth's Hudson Valley Stream Conservancy report, which the supervisor retains every year to monitor water quality along the town's portion of the waterfront at Angle Park. So we built off his report and used his 12 main outfalls, and then we found a bunch of other village outfalls that we studied as well. So to spare you all from reading the over 100-page report with about another 100 pages of appendices, I'm gonna read an excerpt from the conclusion here. And again, this is in draft form. When it's not in draft form, we'll circulate it to the public and we'll share it with the Hudson Valley Conservancy because they got the ball rolling here a few years ago, and we picked up on that. And we're actually going to even further it along with a grant that the supervisor helped the village procure for the same type work this summer. And we're going to do that with another engineering firm. But I'll get more into that at a later meeting with you all. But in the concluding remarks on page 6 of the report, I'll read right from the draft. In order to determine whether the aforementioned remediation measures resulted in an overall positive impact to the health of the Sing Sing Kill, a final test was performed at the outfall where the kill ultimately discharges to the Hudson River. The tests were performed where Westerly Road crosses the existing kill at Station 1. Based upon the microbial source tracking report prepared by Hudson Valley Stream Conservancy, that's Garrett's group, dated February 19, 24, the level of enterococcus within the stream at this location ranged between 345 per 100 mils up to 4,880 per 100 mils. After removing the illicit sewer connections that were discovered as part of the microbial source tracking of the stormwater infrastructure that's tributary to the Sing Sing Kill. In other words, that all the water bodies and the stormwater features that flow into the Sing Sing Kill prior to them flowing into the Hudson, just north of 3 Westerly, if you will, for a point of reference for folks listening. Where was I? The testing performed on April 28th, 26, which is their recent testing, revealed that current levels of enterococcus within the stream have improved significantly to a level of maximum of 146 per 100 milliliters, which is a tremendous success. And we did find a lot of illicit discharges and some compromised private laterals that were coming into our system. And we even found a spot in the sanitary line upstream towards the cemetery in Americo Circle, if we will, that was compromised within the kill itself, and we lined that section. So a lot of good things came out of that, and we're going to build on that this summer. But this is a good step in the supervisor's vision of expanding the potential uses for Engle Park. And just if that's not the direction that the town board takes it, it's still great that we're able to have such high quality water coming down our Sparta and our Kilbrooks, which are our main tributaries to the Hudson. So we're just doing our part for our little interface with the Hudson River, and that's all good stuff. So that it was a very worthwhile expenditure of the grant, and we're gonna build on that this coming year, and I'll continue to report on that.
Thank you.
Are there any questions about that one section? I think I'll talk to the supervisor maybe later this week about some of my notes in the report here, but inevitably this will get circulated for you all to check it out. It's good stuff, and again, it was money well spent. And
Do we know when we expect the final form?
well, when I talked to him earlier about sending the bills in so we can draw down with the DEC. He was going to wait for comments from us, so maybe I can just set it a block of time and go over what I found in there with you, and then we'll make a unified reply to him, and then he'll create a final draft, and he can make his final invoice, and then we can make our final drawdown on the $30,000.
I'll get the board's comments before give him our final comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple of things I wanted to discuss with the town board this evening is I think it came to your attention that I was working with the highway superintendent to rehabilitate Gualtier Lane in the town. And we're in the process, we're in the process of creating purchase orders for the village's biannual concrete contractor and the village's I apologize for that. The village's biannual blacktop contractor, but those are a little stalled now because we're considering the town's potential use of the village's biannual bid document, contractors and document. So when that gets ironed out, we'll get back on track with Gualtier Lane. We also sent in a proposal using the annual bid concrete contractor for a road rehabilitation and right-of-way rehabilitation project that the superintendent would like to undertake on Chappaqua Road, where it intersects with Gordon Lane. That was sort of at the tail end of the scope of the overall stormwater project, for which the supervisor is still trying to procure FEMA funding consideration. But because we were losing part of the right of way there, the superintendent wanted to take that on sooner than later. But again, that's another annual bid contractor that we submitted for consideration of the process. And once that gets ironed out, we will coordinate and commence with that work.
No question. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. Next one on the agenda item, we have a special presentation for Sustainable Westchester Green My Power.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for giving us a few minutes to introduce the new program.
You-
Right, that's probably a good idea. Okay. Pull up yes, you're doing.
First, introduce yourself for our audience.
Yes, so I'm Dan Welsh. I'm with Sustainable Westchester. Go ahead, and even it's on the slide here, but Sustainable Westchester is a nonprofit intermunicipal consortium of all the municipalities in Westchester, and it serves as kind of a shared service for the creation and administration of various sustainability programming that the municipalities have the option of participating in.
I'm just going to stop you right there and
Yeah.
say we did the grid rewards just a few hours ago or 1 hour ago, which is one of my favorite programs where you can get paid money to turn off your electricity at times of high use and stop us from having to use alternate sources or from having to have brownouts or blackouts, which we really don't want. So people should look up grid rewards for turning off your power at key times. You can get money back. I think I got $150 back last year. They mailed me a check. I like that. Definitely look it up. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
but it
I
is
think
one of
you're
my
good,
favorite
Kitch.
programs. And, from 3 to 7, we turn down the air conditioning. And we'll expect money in the fall.
What I like about you bringing that one up is it's kind of a great example of how the aggregation and coming together has created this opportunity, because our access to the municipalities and being able to reach out to people and talk about these programs basically was the substrate for us being able to work with a technologies provider to aggregate all those reductions that people undertake and allow them to participate in a market which in the past was basically only available to big commercial entities, right, where they would be able to drop their loads. But now, because we pulled this all together, individuals can do that and save some money in the process. So it's I think a really good example of why it's good to collaborate on these things. So tonight we're going to talk about a new initiative that we have for renewable energy. And as it says here on the opening screen, it is a voluntary or an opt-in program. That's going to distinguish it very much from the Westchester Power CCA, which basically closed its doors at the end of last year after almost nine years of operation. Grieved that greatly, but the struggle to get a realistic kind of operating bureaucratic substrate for that was just too much. So we've been working with, and we might as well go in. to the next slide with Power Market. And Brad Tito is here with us tonight from Power Market. And some of you recognize Brad from working with us for many years and from his previous positions working with NYSERDA, and prior to that as the sustainability director for the city of Yonkers. So lots of hats in the past, and a great partner. And Power Market has worked with us on the community solar. They're a mission-based outfit that is drawing on their technology expertise to help forward the renewable energy development. So we're happy to have them working with us on this, and their technology has enabled this program as well. Next slide. So the program we're calling Green My Power, and it's actually quite simple in its essence. It is a simple way for people to negate the emissions from their electricity lives. You know, there's still a demand for this. Our municipalities remain committed to their sustainability goals. Been a rocky road in the past couple of years with what's going on, you know, nationally, and even the state has sort of backed off a little bit, but our municipalities have been still trying to drive forward with this. And there's a lot of residents who feel there's a real need for some type of program to tap into to enable them to have an impact on this. Next slide. So the program in a nutshell, about providing a way for residents to directly purchase renewable energy certificates. Don't panic. We'll talk about renewable energy certificates in a moment. But the renewable energy certificates are basically the medium by which renewable energy is turned into a sellable commodity. It relies on a kind of an accounting process. Otherwise, electricity is very amorphous. It's out there in a grid. So there are registries that do the work of accounting for it. We'll use the Green E-registry, which is kind of the gold standard for the United States in that way. And we'll further have set up the program so that there are default participation levels to try and make it a little easier, where it's just you buy a block that's kind of associated with your housing situation and the size of your house, your apartment, middle-sized home, or a larger home, as all with the aim of trying to make it very easy for people to jump back in to renewable energy. So now we can go on to the next slide, which is kind of the scariest slide, but don't, again, as I say, don't panic. The idea behind RECs, again, is electricity gets generated by big plants, gas-fired generators, windmills, whatever it might, wind farms, and it gets dumped into the grid, which is like a big soup. So you can't know where the electricity that's coming out of that plug actually comes from. It's not like, you know, you have a commodity handing it to you, but you can know who's putting it into the grid for you, and you can pay that person, and that's who gets the claims to those renewable energy benefits. That's really what it comes down to, is whoever's paying for it, essentially doing the good work, putting it into the grid. So as we talked about, renewable energy certificate is kind of the receipt for that, or the accounting method for saying, yes, we had this 1,000 kilowatts of electricity, that's kilowatt hours of electricity, that's one REC. I've paid for that. I can have the claims and say, I got the renewable energy, I mitigated that carbon for that. And this, as I said, provides a way to actually buy and sell and buy those credits. Therefore, you know, we can do that here. Or in the CCA, when we were buying renewable energy from an energy service company, an ESCO, they're doing the same thing, but it's kind of under the hood. You just knew you were buying renewable energy, and they were buying RECs, match the power usage there. So we've taken that piece out and allowed people to buy them directly. then you don't have to worry about like the power market and where that's going and the roller coaster of the, energy markets. That's basically what the rec is and why that's at the heart of the program.
What
Okay.
does retired,
Right?
when finally retired,
Oh, yeah.
does that mean used?
Yeah, that means you can buy and sell this thing, but ultimately for you to claim the final credit, it gets retired in the registry under your name, and then
Okay.
it's no longer bought and sold. So that's when the final assessment. Okay. So just in sum, again, it's pretty simple. This is a way for people to jump back into the renewable energy support and have an impact. They get access to the portal, so they have a record of each of the certificates that's bought on their behalf, see what their impact is in terms of carbon mitigation. Under the program also, we're providing a special opportunity to tap into the community solar program. The power market has got a big project that's coming on that they're going to map directly to this program. So the folks who sign up for the Green My Power program have access to direct enrollment solar, which will basically help to bring the cost to probably near zero or close to it. So that's a great opportunity. And as I say, it is a big project. So for the foreseeable future, there'll be credits available for that. And the fourth item there is just to say, is with Sustainable Westchester here, got somebody to call. We're used to taking the phone calls from the community. Want to make sure that everybody's happy with the program and understand it. We don't expect a lot of calls for this program because it's much different than the CCA, where you get those calls from people who didn't realize they were in the program. Like, what's this? And you have this whole long conversation. In this case, it's an opt-in program. So people hopefully know when they're opting in, what it's about and everything. But there will be some dialogue of people calling before they want to sign up and clarify what it is. So we're there to help with that. Okay. Next slide, please. So this is just a quick glance just to remind you that there's a technology platform which is being brought to bear on this, and it's one that with which many of our residents are familiar if they already participate in community solar. Is it, the sign up is simple. Everybody's signed up for a million things online with various forms. So it's a simple process. And as I said, there's default levels of participation. So you're just going to click apartment or house or larger home. And that's an effort to simplify things for people. But for those folks who want to map exactly to their usage, they can do that too. Get to the next page, a box you can check, in which case, if you do that, then you're going to give your account number, your Con Ed account number system, so that they can then go reach into Con Ed, pull out your actual historic usage, and buy exactly relative to your that usage.
So that would guarantee that all the power you use would be coming from a
Will
green
be
power
matched
source.
with the
Okay.
with the renewable energy. That's right. So that was just to give you a glance at what that looks like. All right. So we're really hoping that the communities will take this as an opportunity to bring energy, electricity back into your portfolio of things that you're doing with your community. There's an opportunity to treat this as a kind of a campaign kind of thing. You'll get a landing page dedicated to the town with aggregated reports of how many people are participating, what's the total amount of kilowatt hours and carbon mitigated regular basis. And then taking it up a level, there'll be a countywide map where sort of one of those bubble maps with, based on per capita participation. So it'll be a little gamification opportunity there. And with all this, then you have a more visible, documented presence of on subject matter and participation. Next slide. And with that participation, again, is to be actively involved in this way. We're happy to work with you in any way to develop social media posts or even do a mailing. Any way that works for you on it. I think there'd be an advantage to bringing this again into your portfolio. If you're doing clean heat side of things and people are putting in heat pumps, it was good to be able to say, well, we're mapping that with energy so that the whole heating exercise is negated as a carbon exercise. So I think there's a good opportunity to and make the whole work. So again, these are just examples of different kinds of social media posts and flyers that we're happy to do the work on developing and with your input. Slide. And with that, again, based on that kind of participation, give the nod, we can develop those things within a couple of weeks. Go out with them, get that town branded page up, and within a few weeks, we would have the first people signing in. It will be a countywide thing as well. So if some people come to us, directly from our site, and they happen to be from Ossining, based on their address, they will get aggregated into the town totals as well. That's basically what the program is about.
I have a question.
Great.
Traditionally, the community solar is offered to lower income residents first. Is this a way for a household that earns a little more to come up on the list? So if they're a partner in the Green Power program, is this a way that somebody who is not a low income household could take advantage of the community solar program?
Yeah, I think effectively you could say that. So, with the community solar program, with each succeeding project, there's generally been kind of a target universe of customers. And as you say, very often, if we can direct a good portion of that first to the lower income customers, like to do that. And we hope that there's still more opportunities like that. So in this particular case, though, they want to bring this particular project to bear on Green My Power and make the whole thing that much more impactful. So you've got both the electricity supply negation and the community solar, which helps develop the new solar farms. So yeah, in a sense that would expand the exposure.
When you opt in, do you have to opt in every year or you're good?
The
For the rest?
the price for the RECs will be good for a year, and then you would get a notice if there was any change to that, and decide whether or not you wanted to stay in or not.
Thank you.
No question.
Yeah, I do know that there's a portion of our community that was very upset when we were opted out of and the CPA program ended, and they were no longer guaranteed that they were helping climate change by having green energy. So I think this is a great opportunity for people that want to still get that benefit, and having access to community solar is just another way to save money and make a difference at the same time. So I mean, of course, the board will talk about it, but I'm in favor.
Great. Well, deliberate, and we're also going to try to get in touch with the Green Ossining folks just to let them know about the program. So maybe we'll get some feedback from them as well. And we get to the position where you want to go forward. As I say, we're happy to support it in any way that.
So Green Ossining has been our powerhouse in community engagement. They're amazing. And they really help us with almost any initiative word out there and help it get going in a way that the town really doesn't have the bandwidth for. So
Sure.
reaching out to them would be great. Talking with them about designing some of the literature. They have kind of a template that people recognize their brand. know that it's coming from the town and or Green Ossining, or often between the town and the village in Ossining. So,
Yeah, great. So we can,
So-
yeah, we can adapt to wherever, however they think we should.
great.
We'll talk to them and yeah. Okay.
I actually just want to make sure, is this possible if on, hello? Saying, your presentation can be emailed to everyone on the board. Back and review it if
For
questions.
sure.
Okay.
Okay, the updated one. Yeah. Yeah. If there's any, issue with that, let me know.
Perfect. Well, thank you for
Thank you.
coming to join us.
Thank you.
And we
My pleasure.
appreciate you taking the time to come up and come in person. It's always more fun for me to be able to see some,
Great. Well, yes. Yeah, I would
and the rest of them too.
much prefer coming in person. Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda for tonight, we have supervisor and town board announcements.
Okay. So the Ossining River Jam concert series continues this Friday with another great evening of live music on the waterfront. This week's featured band is Baked Goods, a talented local group performing a blend of jazz, funk, and rock. Food trucks will begin serving at 5 p.m. Concert starts at 7. We don't have a list of the food trucks yet. We hope to soon. And we hope you'll enjoy it. Join us for another wonderful concert. The Lewis Ingalls Spray Park open daily 7 days a week from noon until 7 p.m. through Labor Day. Please remember that on Wednesdays, the park is reserved for our summer camp program until 3 p.m., after which it reopens to the public. During periods of extreme heat, town may extend the operating hours 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, having it open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Any scheduled changes will be announced on our town Facebook. Residents visiting the John Paul Rodriguez Ossining Operations Center at 101 Route 9A are reminded that the building is now closed third daily at 30 p.m. Appointments are available between 3:30 and 4:30 for help with town applications and submissions by contacting Town Building Department in advance at 914-762-8419. We're also pleased to remind the Ossining residents that the Haverstraw Ossining Ferry offers hourly weekly service on Saturdays and Sundays through October 31st, making it easier than ever to connect with Metro North trains and enjoy our scenic waterfront. Bethany Arts Community and the Abolition Commemoration Day Association of New York will present New York's Road to Freedom on Thursday, July 16th. This special program explores the people who challenged slavery, fought for freedom, and helped shape the history of Westchester County through music, reenactments, readings, historical storytellings. Registration is available at bethanyarts.org. And I would like to shout out village historian Joyce Chirac Cole on winning, or on her one of her programs, or two of her programs being picked for an Emmy Award. So this is another one of her programs, and she really digs into the history and makes it enjoyable. So I hope everybody can join us. On Friday, July 17th, the Greater Ossining Chamber of Commerce will host Coffee Before Business networking event at the Open Door Cafe located at 2 Church Street in Ossining. Local business owners and professionals are encouraged to attend. More information is available at greaterossining.chamber.org. Bethany Arts Community's Summer Jam Series continues on Saturday, July 18th with a performance by the Stella Blues Band beginning at 7:30 p.m. Tickets and event details are available at bethanyarts.org. St. Augustine's Annual Fair returns from Wednesday, July 22nd through Saturday, July 25th. The festivities are taking place each evening from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. Fair is a long-standing summer tradition featuring rides, games, food, and fun for the entire family. We encourage residents and visitors alike to come out, support the parish, get dinner, enjoy one of our community's favorite annual events. Westchester Collaborative Theater will present That's Not All She Wrote 5 a collection of original works celebrating women playwrights, performances on July 24th, 25th, and 26th. Tickets are available at wcttheater.org. On Wednesday, July 29th, the Ossining Public Library will host Voices of the Hudson Valley's Indigenous People. Beginning at 7 p.m., the local historian Dean Klurfeld will discuss the history and culture of the Lenape people. A reminder, those are the people that were here before us. Eligible moderate income households may qualify for monthly utility bill discounts through New York State's expanded energy affordability program. To learn more, please visit nyeap.com/program. Jazz at the Lodge continues every Thursday evening. Please visit jazzathelodge.com for the performance schedule and additional details. Sustainable Westchester reminds residents that its Grid Rewards program allows participants to earn incentives by reducing electricity during periods of peak demand. Additional information is available, as we were talking about, at sustainablewestchester.org. Neighbors Link continues to provide valuable services and trusted resources for our immigrant population, including the Know Your Rights webinars offered in both English and Spanish. Residents can also find information for local trusted professionals by visiting neighborslink.org and selecting the resources. The Ossining Public Library continues to offer outstanding educational, culture, and family programming throughout the year. For the latest calendar of events, please visit the library's website or follow its official Facebook page. And the LOF LGBTQ plus Community Center offers a wide range of programs, support groups, educational opportunities, and community resources for the LGBTQ plus individuals and families. More information is available at lofgaycenter.org. And there are many more exciting events taking place throughout our community. We have time to mention this evening. I encourage everyone to visit the weekly supervisor's update on the supervisor's webpage to stay informed about upcoming events, programs, and opportunities throughout the town of Ossining. Thank you.
Anybody else still have any comments or announcements? No. Public comment on agenda items. Visitor accord to 1 4-minute opportunity to address the board on any of the resolutions on the agenda. Do we have anybody online that would like to speak at this moment? No. Board resolutions, approval of minutes, June 23, 2026. Resolved that the town borough town of Ossining hereby approves the June 23, 2026 minutes of the regular meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the town borough town of Ossining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated July 14, 2026 in the amount of $1,007,540.30. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Authorization for delegate to legislative meeting of the New York Association of Towns, whereas Town Supervisor Elizabeth Feldman will attend the New York Association of Town NYAOT Legislative Conference and Meeting on September 22, 23, 2026. And whereas the town of Ossining beneficiates from having a delegate, but what to include in the NYAOT's 2027 legislative priorities, and whereas the town of Ossining has the authority to designate any officer, employee, or representative to the town of Ossining as a delegate for this meeting. Therefore, we resolve that Elizabeth Feldman be designated as a delegate for the town of Ossining. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
CSEA contract ratification resolution. Resolved that the town board hereby ratifies and approves the memorandum of agreement between the town of Ossining and the Civil Service Employee Association INC Local 1000 AFSCME AFL/CIO Town of Ossining Unit Number 9182 Westchester County Local 860 dated June 29, 2026, covering the period from January 1st, 2027 through December 31st, 2030, and approves the funding for such agreement, and be resolved further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and collecting bargaining agreement for the period from January 1st, 2027 through December 31st, 2030 that's consistent with the terms of the memorandum of agreement. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Personnel tax receivers appointment. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Austin hereby approves Aaron Sebelman Ossining to the position of Deputy Town Receiver in the Town and Tax Receiver's Office retroactively effective June 29, 2026 at the annual salary of $57,999. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Personnel Tax Receiver Office appointment. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Austining appoints Patricia Cunningham J. Austining to the part-time position of intermediate clerk in the Town Receiver of Town Office of Taxes Office, 17.5 hours per week, $20 per hour, retroactively effective June 29, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
A stipulation of agreement, CSEA, be resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a stipulation of agreement with the Civil Service Employment Association, INC. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
New York State Liquor Authority Special Event Permit Application, Austin Fire Department's Parade. Resolved that the town board of town of Austin hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign the landlord authorization form for the New York State Liquor Authority special event permit application made by the Austin Fire Department for the Austin Fire Department Parade on August 7, 2026 at Los Angeles Park. And before the resolve that the applicant will provide profile insurance and letter of indemnity to the town in a form acceptable to the council of the town. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence to be received and filed. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Austin hereby accepts the following correspondence. ZVA transcript, June 1st, 2026 for 39 Gannon Drive. CVA transcripts, June 1st, 2026 for 22 Gordon Avenue. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Monthly reports. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Austin hereby accept the following monthly reports for the month of June 2026. Dell Cemetery Highway Department Supervisor's Office and Tax Receiver. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Visitor recognition. Visitor accorded to one for amended opportunity to address the board on issues not related to the agenda but relevant to the common good of the town. Do we have anybody online that would like to speak at this moment? No. Do I have a motion to adjourn to work session to discuss Association of Towns Bill of Rights?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 9. Pulling it up. Martha, did you print that one? Oh, that would be helpful. So basically, the Association of Towns would like us to do a resolution in support of the town's Bill of Rights, go over what they are. Yeah, I can't see that.
The New York Association of Towns Bill of Rights. Whereas town government provides services essential to the vitality and success of New York State, like maintaining and repairing roads, protecting neighborhoods and businesses, guiding and supporting growth and economic development, and acting as the first line of defense, communication, and safety to residents every day of the calendar year. Whereas towns in the New York State are phenomenally diverse, ranging in population, geography, demographics, and other factors, and decisions are best made at the local level by the government that best understands their town's attributes, challenges, and character. Whereas 933 total towns in New York State are claimed as home by more than 9.1 million New Yorkers. New York towns should not be considered subsidiaries of the state, but rather as partners in shaping New York's future. Bill of Rights. Number 1. Protect and defend municipal home rule. As local level of government closest to the peoples, towns are best positioned to understand local needs, balance competing interests, and make decisions that shape daily life in meaningful ways. Preserving the authority matters not just for towns, but for the health of local democracy itself. Number 2, protect our lands, guide our development. Land use and zoning decisions belong in local hands, not in statewide zoning schemes or arbitrary shot clock deadlines that ignore the voice of residents and elected officials that live there. Number 3, freedom from unfunded mandates. Local taxpayers should not be expected to bear the brunt of orders placed by bureaucrats in Albany and Washington, D.C. Taxpayers deserve fairness and local budgets need relief. Number 4, modernize transparency, accessibility, and engagement. Outdated public notice requirements soak up very essential dollars in municipal budgets by forcing them to pay money for print public notices that can be often missed and are counterproductive to civic awareness. Number 5, a voice in decisions impacting our hometowns. A true partnership between the state of New York and its local governments will propel the entire state forward and bear dividends to benefit all New Yorkers. As a governing body closest to more than 9.1 million New Yorkers, town government should be treated by the state as true partners, not as an afterthought or a hurdle to clear.
Okay, so go down to number 1. So basically, municipal home rule is where we can decide which legislation works for us. And I think it's really important that we fight to retain that. Otherwise, things like blanket housing, mandates, and things like that, we won't have the ability to choose our own zoning and choose things that work for our community. So I think that's very important. So I absolutely agree with that. Protect our lands, guide our development. So zoning decision belong in the people that know the area and understand what the community needs and how the community works, not in statewide zoning, as it says. Freedom from unfunded mandates. We are buried in unfunded mandates, and they just keep passing more and more, and it really hurts our budget and our taxpayers' wallets. So that's no fun. Okay. Modernizing transparency, accessibility. So it is still required that we publish everything. I know that there are still people that count on the newspapers to learn what's going on in the municipality, but I think that number is dwindling. We can talk about that. Does anybody want to talk about any of these yet?
Would that be like a home rule thing, or is that going to be a state thing? Because
This is
can't make
this is
that a-
this is us agreeing with the Association of Towns Bill of Rights that they are going to present to Albany, that they feel that these are the rights of a municipality, that we should have the right to modernize our technology, we should have the right to home rule, we should have the right to our own zoning, we should have the right to a voice in the decision impacting our hometowns. So, this is basically, they're asking for a resolution saying that we agree that we would like to sign on to this Bill of Rights and have the Association of Towns present it to Albany for us.
Any more context on what you're getting at with?
Yes. I had it and I don't have it. I think that they're saying that, they similar to NYMER, similar to that we should have a voice at the table and not just be somebody that, okay, I talked to them. I think that the Association of Towns should have a true voice sitting at the table. And that the Association of Towns would be, our representative and our voice. Their board would be one of our voices, protect the interests of towns in the way that big cities have a seat at the table. That all towns together would have a seat at the table, is how I'm interpreting. I can get more definition on that for you. I just wanted to bring it to you so you could look at it before.
They're looking for 100% participation.
They're asking each and every town throughout the state to take a look at it, pass a resolution, have the conversation. Preferably to have a resolution and also to send a delegate to make the decision on if that's the path they're going to go forward.
Good.
Okay. With that, I would like to say that it's hot out again, and we have had some heat-related challenges in our community. So, as it is in the 90s, our spray parks hours are extended. There is a cooling center at Recreation Department. And please stay hydrated, stay cool, check on your neighbors, check on your elderly, your infirm, and let's work together to get through this steamy summer. And we're going to adjourn to executive session for advice of counsel, personnel.
Pending litigation.
And pending litigation.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.